now it's time to add my personal favorite weapon. I think it's the coolest and most powerful weapon that we can get in the game, and that is the grenade launcher. So to start, what we need to do, just like we did for our other weapons, is go to our weapons prefab folder. But this time we want to click into bonus, and we're going to see this grenade launcher prefab asset. I'm actually going to fix this real quick. There we go. So in this prefab asset you see here, you probably won't have to deal with that error thing that I just fixed. It's going to start off default by disabled. We're going to enable it for now, and just like we did before, drag it onto our main camera here, and just like we did before as well, we need to rotate it -90 degrees. Next up, what we want to do is drag it over and down and line it up with our camera just like we've done before. That's a little bit front and center. Let's try that. That's a little bit too low. I think that's good. Yeah, that's good. Cool. So we've got that. Now we can go ahead and disable it. And we'll see this guy already has his audio source and grenade launcher set up. We can ignore this laser controller stuff because it's not actually going to be firing lasers, but grenades. So now we want to go into our scripts created folder, and we're going to create a C# script. We're going to call it grenade launcher. There we go. Make sure you use a capital G and L. And we're going to open that one up. Maybe. There it is. And we're going to replace model behavior again with weapon. But this time we're going to be doing pretty much completely different firing methods. We can delete, start, and update, of course. But we are going to keep constant is our process inputs from the machine gun, because we're going to have this fire delay and all this stuff. So what we're going to say is we're going to copy this process inputs over. We are going to have to add our fire time and fire cooldown variables, but we're going to add a couple more than that. We're going to say public game object grenade. I'm going to say public transform spawn point. Not points, we just want 1 point. We're going to say float fire cooldown. We're going to set this one to 2 because we want it to be a long cooldown for this gun, and then that float fire time. That's going to get rid of all of our errors with our process inputs method. What we want to do now is give ourselves some space and say public override void fire. And we're going to keep our base fire there, and we're going to say if current clip, not current ammo, current clip is greater than or equal to 0, and add our parentheses. And now instead of doing all the raycast and stuff we were doing with the other guns, we're going to say game object go is equal to instantiate, and then our angle brackets game object, and then open and close parentheses, but we want to add the grenade variable inside those parentheses, just like that. We're going to say go.transform.position is equal to spawn point, oh my gosh, excuse me, spawn point down position. And then we're going to say rigid body, rigid is equal to game object.get component rigid body. So this is us getting the rigid body from our grenade, not from our grenade launcher. And then we're going to set that rigid.velocity equal to spawn point.transform.forward times grenade speed. And that's actually a variable we forgot to add, so we need to go back up to the top and say public float grenade speed. We're going to set that equal to 5f. There we go. So now we'll spawn a grenade, and we're going to give its rigid body a nice speed of 5 in the direction of forward from our release point here. So now if we click on our grenade launcher and we add our grenade launcher script here, we're going to see all this stuff here. We can actually leave all of this, or at least some of this. The laser color can stay as it is. The damage per bullet can stay as it is, because we're not firing lasers and we're not firing bullets. But what we can adjust is our current ammo. I'm going to set this to, we'll say 24. We're going to set the max clip to 6 and the current clip to 6 and the ammo to add to 24. We want to have a long reload delay on this guy, so I'm going to say maybe like 6 or 5. We'll do 5. We do want to, again, do the clip UI and the ammo UI. We also can ignore the bullet hole here, but we do need to get our grenade prefab. So that's going to come from our prefabs folder in bonus. There's this grenade prefab here. It's actually got a script on it that we can quickly take a look at. All this is doing is saying we need to open this up. So if you haven't opened it up already, please go to the provided scripts folder and open the grenade script, because we need to uncomment this stuff down here. There's this for each loop with 3 lines commented out. We can just delete the slashes here. And what that is this is a function that's saying it's creating a sphere, a physics overlap sphere, when the grenade explodes, that's going to deal damage to everything inside of that sphere that has our damageable script attached. And yes, that does include our player. This side here is... Oh, we can actually delete this. That's a little sneak peek to the next step. What we can see here is that what this is doing, I need to delete this too, is that this is detecting a collision, and when it does collide, it's going to play a sound and detonate and deal this damage and then destroy itself. So that's a good look at what's inside there. So what we need to do now is, again, go to our grenade launcher and go to our grenade prefab and add our grenade prefab into the grenade field here. We also need to get our spawn point, and we already have this in the grenade launcher for you. It's just, if I enable the object, you can see it. It's just an empty transform at the front of our gun. So disabling this again, we're going to add our spawn point just like that. And now if we go back to our player, we can finally add that 4th unlocked weapon, that is the grenade launcher, as well as our 4th weapon object, which is going to be our grenade launcher as well. And now we've got all that stuff nice and set up. We've got our audio source, our audio components, everything is ready to go. So all we have to do now is hit play, press the 4 button, and see we launch a grenade. Now, in my opinion, that's definitely not launching far enough. So we want to increase our grenade speed. So we're going to increase that, I think, to about 20 should be good. So let's try that out. There we go. That looks good. Cool. So now we're adding all this nice AoE explosions. And these do a ton of damage. We can actually adjust the amount of damage they do by going into the grenade prefab, and there's this damage variable. I have them set to 20 by default with an explosion radius of 4, but you're welcome to mess with those values and change them to something that you like. But 20 seems to be pretty good. That's going to kill most of the enemies we set up, but if you like a very powerful grenade launcher, you are welcome to make one. And of course, once again, once you have all that stuff set up and you've got your unlocked weapons and everything, you can go ahead and save your scene and go on to the next bonus.